Traveling to Dorado. Ready for battle. Ready for battle.
Start off the bat here. With this comp, it is going to be a little annoying to command the high ground. So there will be people up here on this roof, this here, over there. They're all going to be shooting down on you as you try to push the cart through here. It can make it very difficult to push. So like say they have a Reaper right now, obviously. So say you guys are pushing the cart here, and then your front line, like your Roadhog and your Bastion, walk up around here, and then your healers are like right here. And then like once your guys go around this corner, you know that Reaper that's up here, he just sits here. And then he'll just drop directly down on top of your supports until E1, and it'll make it really annoying. And then he just wraiths away, teleports back up here, rinse repeat until you're all dead. Very exciting. So it's going to be difficult for you guys to contest stuff like that, because the only real thing you have that can get on the high ground consistently is your Kiriko and your Baptiste, so your supports, which, to be fair, those are two supports that are pretty good at 1v1ing, taking fights. So they can do it. It's just going to be hard. Tracer can also get up there to a limited extent, but she has to go on a big long flank to get there. So like what I usually do when I play Tracer, which is all the time, so I would probably go down here, right out the door and around this side, come up here, and then depending where they're positioned, you either come out here, which is, I usually wouldn't do this, but sometimes you come out there. But usually what I do is I go up behind here, and I make sure I'm crouching, by the way, once I'm like here-ish. I'm crouching and standing, crouch, stand, because it makes it so you only play like a half footstep sound, so the full footstep sound, so you can go a little faster. And then once I'm around this area, I'm just straight up crouching, because you're usually directly beneath them, like they're usually right up here. So I just crouch walk until I'm like right here, and then I'll find someone. And if they're standing still like an idiot, like may say a Torb, you know, doing his healing his turret or something like that, Baptiste or somebody standing still, or what even better, an Ana aiming down her sights, you look for them and you try to blink up real close, get inside of them, and one clip them. Doesn't work, you recall, try again. But anyways, I go around this direction and say they're not here at all, and I'm not going for the one clip. What I do is I would blink over to this high ground here, and now you're helping contest the high ground. But see, like it's so Tracer can get there, but it's just, it takes forever. Her whole team, like her team's already been fighting for like 30-40 seconds. By the time she gets there, it's really not that good. You can do it though. It just takes some forethought and positioning to make sure you're available to help as Tracer in this situation. But the other two teammates, so your Roadhog and your Bastion, they're never getting up here, basically, not without a sim TP or something like that. So Roadhog and Bastion are going to have a lot of trouble fighting other people on the high ground. They can still do that flank that I talked about, where you go around underneath and come up behind. In fact, the whole team could do that flank if you wanted to. And you can go do that, win the fight, and then go back and push the cart. That's totally viable. Or at the very least, you can come up, push them off high ground, leave a couple people up here on high ground, so then you're shooting down on them, and then send one or two people back to the cart, or something like that. Like, you can do that. Maybe just have one person ride the cart up around here, and as the rest of the team goes to push them off high ground, that's also viable. I would probably, if I were to do that, I would do that with, hold up. Cool, cool. Alrighty, sorry about that. My brother was getting a call. I had to go get him. I don't remember what I was saying. Okay, so high ground, right? Okay, so Roadhog and Bastion are going to have trouble doing that, but that's not what I was saying. Okay, so yeah, your whole team can push up on this side over here. And if you're going to leave somebody on the cart, it'd probably be Kiriko, in my opinion. Just because, or Baptiste, but probably Kiriko in this situation. Just because, say your team is pushing them off the high ground, there's only 3 of them up here right now. So they would be 4v3, which is pretty good. Their other 2 are in Narnia. One is right here, and then the other one, where the hell is the Reaper? Oh, he's down here. Okay, so he's teleporting up here right now. Okay, so you're gonna have 2 up here and 3 over there. So if you were to have 4 of your teammates all go up and push up these stairs over here, it's gonna be a 3v4, which is good for you, obviously. You can either probably kill one or at least force all 3 off the high ground before these 2 over here come to assist pretty easily. Say that there was all 5 up there, and now you're pushing 4v5, and that's not that good, but like maybe they'll think it's a full team, they'll drop off, maybe not, you might get a pick. If not, you can back up, or alternatively, that's why I said Kiriko on the cart, because Kiriko, if your team decides, hey, we're taking this fight, and it's a full 5, and maybe you can push one off the high ground at the very least, your Kiriko at any moment, if it becomes a situation where it's all 5 of you versus, or all 5 of them versus 4 of you, then the Kiriko can just teleport to you guys, basically at any time. A lot more easily than the Baptiste could come and assist you guys. So I would leave Kiriko on the cart here, and I would send the rest of your team around and push these guys off the high ground, and then I would command over here and these 2, and then maybe have your Tracer up here. And that's how I would probably start it out, because it's going to be really, really rough with their team comp, because they have their Doomfist, who is obviously really good at being on the high ground. It's pretty easy for him to get up there. Same with their Reaper. Those are both going to be hopping up and down off the high ground repeatedly and getting up in your face. The Torbjorn, he's already got his turret on high ground, basically. He's going to be on high ground. The rest of the team, they're all going to be on high ground. So they're going to be shooting down at you guys, and it's going to be rough to stop them from doing that without a pretty concentrated effort on your team, because your team can't just get up and down. So if you're playing a comp that can't do that, which it's fine, you can do that. It's just that you need to be aware of how to counter that, and it's basically you need to run as a group and just clear the high ground. So I would run around and push everyone off the high ground, and then drop, and then leave a couple people like your hit scans, so Bastion, Tracer, and Baptiste, and leave them on the high ground, and then go and do your thing. That's a little long-winded, but you get the idea. So when you start here, it would be good to go around and get your team on the high ground, get them off the high ground, because if you're just riding the cart and they're on the high ground, they're just going to pick you off one by one as you slowly make your way up to the choke, and it's going to take forever. So Tracer does start going off the direction that I was saying. It would be pretty good. Right around here I'd be crouching because you're directly below them. Okay, you see where they are over there. Here's a really good time to crouch because they're not here. So now, right here is where you want to go for the one clip is Tracer. So you see him right here. There's an Ana here. So if she ever aims down her sights over here, you just blink up directly next to her and just delete her, and that would be pretty juicy. So she didn't even see you there. She's just walking around. Right here, she's coming back towards you now. She's kind of alone, so like that's kind of a free kill. Alternatively, as Tracer, you could blink over to this Baptiste over here, but I wouldn't do that with the turret here. Turret is pretty good at shutting down Tracer, because obviously it cannot really miss, and also you don't have a lot of HP. But right now, the turret is locked on to your Lucio, I believe. You don't have a Lucio. It's locked on to your Kiriko. So the thing with turrets is the way that their targeting works. So they will shoot whoever is closest to them. And then once they start shooting that person, they will not swap to shooting any other person until that person is dead or out of LOS, one of the two. So right now, you see the turret is aiming at your Kiriko, so until your Kiriko is out of LOS, it's going to keep shooting the Kiriko. So sometimes what you can do is you can get your tank or something like that to take the aggro of the turret, and then just like sit there in front of it and take the aggro, and then your Tracer can do something. So if you are the tank, a lot of the time it is a good idea to take the aggro of the turret if you see one of your people going on a flank, because that would enable your Tracer right now to make the double blink over to this high ground and try and one clip this Baptiste, which he's just chilling here. So you could force him off this high ground, which would be pretty good. Alternatively, killing the Ana is really good. If you can't do any of that, because it is really hard to do all this alone as Tracer, because there's 3 of them plus a turret up here and just you. If all you can do is destroy the turret, that's fine. So like, because if you can't find somebody standing still and that's open for a one clip, you can just double blink in here, one clip the turret, melee it, recall, and it probably won't be dead, and then blink back in, shoot it a tiny little bit more, it'll be dead, and then leave and go get a health pack. And then you'll be able to come back in before his turret's off cooldown. But it's a little annoying to play Tracer into this comp, just as a general rule. Okay. So I wouldn't have used the recall there. That's a little... So recall you almost always want to use... So if you're under half HP or something, you don't really want to use it for like 10 HP worth of damage. So you knew the Ana was there. Shooting at him, that's fine. You get shot by the turret, you see the Ana there, you're fighting her here. You are 100 HP. If you're gonna blink back twice, that's probably all you really needed there. I don't know if it was a misclick on the recall, so you were here, you're shooting the Ana. She's like, oh shit, I'm fighting a Tracer, so you backed up twice. You blinked here. And then you recalled. I would do one or the other, like, I would recall if you're afraid she's gonna sleep you or something. That's fine, but like, using both is just kind of wasteful. So, but at this point, you've forced her off the high ground, which is good, which means that you can now have your 1v1 of your choice, even though you don't have a recall, which is bad, so you don't usually want to take 1v1s with no recall, but ideally, you would have shot that Ana, maybe blink back like you did, you still have your recall, now you can decide, I'm going to go for this guy, or I'm going to go for the Baptiste. The Baptiste would be the right play right now, because the Baptiste is completely alone over here, there's nobody here to help him. The only person who might be able to help him is his Ana, which just jumped off high ground, she's over here, and she would have to peek the cart, potentially your team and your hook to do that.
To kill? Is that what we...
So yes, anyways, I would go after the Baptiste here. At the very least, you'll force him off high ground and he'll fall out in front of your team and maybe die. Best case scenario, you just 1v1 him and kill him, and now you have the high ground. But anyways, let's see what you do here. Okay, so right there, that was the perfect moment to blink and murder his face. But instead he just fell down. So getting rid of high ground here as Tracer, or not getting rid of, but I thought that was the same time. Alright, but so yeah, right here, relinquishing high ground as Tracer is not usually a good idea, because it's so hard for her to get it that you almost never want to just drop off unless you're gonna immediately like go for a one clip and then recall back up to it. Especially on first point here, until you have the cart at this choke right here, you do not want to be getting rid of high ground, because they can easily just walk around, come up these stairs, and now they're all shooting down on you guys again. So you want to blink over here, kill this Baptiste, and then you want to blink over here, make sure you're contesting this high ground and stopping them from doing things. So dropping there, I don't know, you shot at the Baptiste, and then you were immediately like, I'll allow this guy to escape over the heads of my entire team. Like, he falls behind all of you, nobody's looking at him. Like, you would have been chasing him and killing him this whole time if you just looked at him. Looks like your Kiriko has noticed him. I wouldn't have used my cleanse on that right there. So nobody's in any danger right there of actually dying to that. So there's no reason to cleanse it when nobody's in danger. Also, I haven't seen anybody on your team at all on the high ground this whole time. So your Kiriko, probably first thing that you should do when you come out this door here, whenever this starts, like, you should probably be getting on the high ground immediately, if at all possible. At least just to check and see who's up there, see if you can help your team push them off, stuff like that. So, like right here, when you come out, you should probably be getting on the high ground immediately, helping so you can, help your Tracer get a kill. Right here, the Doomfist is to your right. See, there's a Baptiste up there alone, so right here, after ignoring this Doomfist probably, you can help, it's fine, but especially I would probably be on the Baptiste. But if you're going to help with the Doomfist, you don't need to heal your Hog. He's not going to get one shot by a Doomfist. You should be shooting the Doomfist. But so what I'd do is I'd come out here, I'd climb up this wall, and I would be shooting at this Baptiste that you saw up here a second ago. So I'd be up here, and I'd be 1v1ing this guy to make sure that he can't help his Doomfist right now, and he's more worried about getting murdered by you, because he's kind of out of position right there. But yeah, just in general, you should be good on the high ground. There's a good kill on the Doomfist though, but now you should definitely be on the high ground on that Baptiste you saw. Killing the turret is fine, shooting at the Ana is fine, but you should have more important things to do. So here's the Baptiste that you saw earlier and that the Tracer saw, and you both let him go. So you've now remembered that he exists, and that object permanence is in fact a thing. So you only cleansed yourself there, so since nobody was in danger, like especially you weren't in danger, there's no reason to whip around and throw that without even like aiming it. You want to look and make sure you're throwing it with a purpose, because you really didn't have one right there. You just cleansed yourself. You weren't in danger. Your teammates weren't in danger. But if you're going to throw it, especially in a life-threatening and non-serious situation, you want to make sure you aim it and actually hit people.
Under my protection.
That would have been a good time for it right there. Your info on your Hog there, when the Reaper's in his face, probably pretty good. Also, I don't think you have this keybind set up, so when I play Kiriko, I like to have, let's see. Okay, so Kiriko, so this right here, toggle healing of Fuda, I like to have that off, which is not the normal way to do it. So what that means is that you're going to, when you're holding down the heal button on Kiriko, she just presses it and you can't stop doing it until all of them are gone. So you have your 5 healing of Fuda here, and when you click heal, all of them will come out and they will not stop until they're gone. So if you heal somebody or you die, so let's go back to open up a bit. So see, you heal and, oh, you did change that. I'm a brainlet. You just did it. But anyways, so that's really good, but the reason I didn't think you had it is because right here, you're still healing nothing while the Doomfist is right in front of you. So like, he drops here on you, and you're healing here, so you're not healing anyone. But like, you're still healing, he's still eating your ass, you're still shooting the wall. And like, you still held that when I thought like, oh, you should probably be shooting him by now. And you weren't, so I didn't think you had that on. But if you do, that's good. So yeah, make sure that you're swapping back and forth between it. But right here, probably when he's on you, I would just immediately be teleporting to my Baptiste probably. Like if you just see, even before this, like when you see the Doomfist coming at you, like you're right here, and you see this guy flying through the air right there, you should already be teleporting. Like you probably don't have time to turn to your Baptiste here because nobody's gonna be you don't want to just be going for flicks with your teleport, but you're already aiming at a teammate. So like right here, Doomfist is about to land on you. It's only you. I would just teleport to exactly who you're looking at right now, and then I would also probably throw down your E at your feet when you did that. So I'd teleport right there, instead of trying to 1v1 the tank. But if you are in there, like it's fine, teleport there, but you should be going back to 1v1 him again after that. Probably what you want to do is you want to go on the high ground here, so if he lands on you, he punches you into the wall, you teleport over here, whatever, you climb up to high ground, because it's kind of annoying for Doomfist to get up here. He can, but it's a little annoying because he has to use one of his cooldowns to get here, instead of necessarily to attack you with it. So, and also it's very easy to see it coming. So say you go up here and he uses his slam to come back up here. You see him coming, and all you gotta do is step off the edge, and he misses the slam. And then if he drops, you just wall climb right back up, because you don't have a cooldown on your wall climb. So you go up here, he slams, you drop, he drops on you, you climb back up. And now he is down there with no slam. He can't get to you. You're safe for a little while. He can't do anything about it. You can just sit here, heal as much as you want, damage as much as you want, and he can't do shit about it. So Genji and Kiriko and Hanzo, all of them have the wall climb, and it's like really important to abuse the fact that you don't have a cooldown on your movement ability. Your movement ability is a little one-directional because obviously it only goes up and down, but like it don't have a cooldown. So there's a lot of people that have to use cooldowns to get to high ground, and you're not one of them. So make sure that you abuse the fuck out of that. But instead, you go over here. I don't really know why, but if your team's backing up, that's fine. But like, you should probably be climbing up to high ground. So like, if you want to go this way, you climb up here, maybe chill, hide, and then just teleport to your team when they get back, or something like that. Okay, so they're all on high ground again here, and you guys are just kind of walking down the street again. Your tracers are going on the flank again, which is good. But your whole team, like you don't need to walk down this street. You've already pushed the cart. So your tracer, you should all be going that direction right now, because there's no reason to allow them to stand up on this high ground, drop on you, and bully you all, and have to fight your way up this street again, when all you have to do is walk around and come down through this. And then you just come through here and do what your tracer's doing, come up behind them. And then you're basically right at the cart. You didn't have to take any damage and walk through like this giant funnel of taking damage just to get there. Okay, so your hog is kind of very alone and sad in the world, but hold up. Okay, so you guys are all walking out. I don't know, I obviously can't hear the comms, but you should be, as a team, deciding where you're going to go. I wouldn't be throwing that hook at somebody who's jumping over there, because even if the hook does hit, he's going to fall, and then your hook will break. So you can't really be throwing hooks over there, because even if they hit, they won't do anything.
Enemy turret ahead.
Okay, walking straight to cart is not the worst play here, as long as your team is here. But to destroy the turret there, all you gotta do is stand right here and just right-click it twice. That probably would have been better and a lot less dangerous than coming up here, because now this Ana is right above you, she's gonna nade you. There's a Torb here, no one's with you. So this is fine if your whole team is here. But even then, it's not the best play, because they still have high ground and they're bullying you all in the high ground. So not the best moment to walk to cart, because usually you want to win the fight and then go to cart, not just go to cart and fight there. Also, if you are getting antied, you want to run back towards your team. Maybe your Kiriko can save you. She could not, because she was see, but maybe she would be able to in some situations, so usually you want to back up towards your team if you're antied.
Draw strength from nature.
I probably would just walk there and then teleport it back to my team. Teleport into spawn and then walk back.
Payload stall.
Here you should still be on high ground as Kiriko. Your Baptiste as well should probably be on high ground. Okay, we used pulse bomb. I don't know what it was on, but let me check. Okay, that was a good recall. Focusing that's not really important when they're on the bed, but whatever. Getting healed up, cool. Focusing in there is not bad. Okay, that was a decent stick, but so you want to try and not use all of your blinks quite so quickly. So right here you have 3, so use 1, use 2, that's fine. I don't know why this one went backwards. If this one went in, that probably would have been pretty good. Another thing you do want is to make sure you have recall when you're going to go for a stick usually, because a lot of the time you want to blink into the back line, go for a stick, and then recall out if it doesn't work out. But I probably would have tried to stick the Ana here, and the reason why is because she's the Ana. She's going to be down her scope a lot of the time. Baptiste, as a general rule, he does have his immortality field, but he did just use it, which is why this is a really good time to go for the stick, because you just saw him use it. It's a pretty long cooldown. So I would go for the Ana here. I would stick her, and then I would recall out. The Baptiste is a perfectly fine target as well, but he does have his his crouch jump, which makes him a lot harder to stick if he has a brain, but he's not currently charging that, so you could go for him easily as well. But this blink backwards here kind of cucks you a little bit. You don't usually want to stick tanks with your ultimate unless your team is able to focus them down, because really all you're doing here, if you hit the Doomfist and he has 100 HP left or something, is you're just giving their supports ult charge if they don't already have their ults. But you're not accomplishing a whole lot of getting their team to do things. What did I just do? Where am I? I know where I am now, but I don't feel like I'm... Oh no, I have no idea where I am. Just like these times all look the same. Yeah, let me look at... Okay, we're here. So... the full spawn there was pretty good, but the target was wrong, because I'm pretty sure the Doomfist just lives there when you do that. I really am fine. Okay, here's the full spawn. Yeah, I was a lot further back than I thought I was. Okay, so Doom did die there, so it's not the worst full spawn ever. Trading your Tracer for the Doom is probably worth, because Tracer is DPS, and DPS are garbage. So tanks are usually just more important. There's only one of them on the team, obviously. So it's kind of important to get them. I would have chased that Torbjorn there. You're not really in any danger as Kiriko. Like, you have your invuln and you also have your teleport, so if you got in trouble, you can just teleport back to your team. It's not a problem, and that Torb is already half HP, so there's no real reason for you to let him get away there, because now all he has to do is walk around and join the fight back on high ground. He's still weak. Like, you should have just chased him down here. There's a health pack down here, which he probably grabbed, so he did. So I would say you just come and you wait on these stairs and just start walking this way, and you would have found him. He still would have been half HP. You win those, and then you just teleport back to your team as Kiriko. There's no reason for you to let him live there. Like, you knew he was there, and then you just ignored him. Like, yeah, you can see him. He's not even going to high ground. He's just walking up behind you. So you let your team do their thing. You go back here, kill the 1 HP Torbjorn, teleport back to their team. That's what you should be doing. See, now he's coming up behind you. He's got the turret set up behind you. He's shooting all of you in the back. We're ignoring him. It's a great time for everyone involved, except for the entire team. So that was a good kill on the Ashe. You guys are even. Their Doom killed 2. You guys killed 2. I probably wouldn't be on the cart here, but I'd probably be helping your team kill for the Nano Doom. But it's not wrong to push the cart there.
Lost away.
So where I would probably be as Kiriko, if at all possible, is I would be up on this high ground up here, because that would be very powerful for you. You'd be up here. You could be shooting your team with relative safety. You could also be killing this Torbjorn, attacking their people, and so if at all possible, I would be going up here, and climbing up here, and grabbing up here and getting here. Being where you are is fine. It's fairly safe. You just can't do as much aside from heal botting for this distance. If he wasn't even looking at you there, I wouldn't have teleported. Looks like the team is... That's pretty good. 2 to your team there, and you could cleanse the burn. Okay, well, it looks like you lost that. It was a decent push though, you guys almost capped it. So here I'm thinking, what ults do they have, which is none, and what ults do you guys have, more importantly. That would have been a pretty good time for a hook, because Hog does counter Doomfist really, really hard. So Doomfist has his slam, he has his punch, and then he has his little shield that absorbs damage. The one thing that his little shield does not absorb is CC. So your hook, if he just does that in front of you, you just hook him, it's free kill. So if he does it, which he probably should be here, which he did. Yeah, see right there, when he's doing that, you literally hook him. He can't move during that, he's slow as fuck. He's 1 HP, you have your hook, you just throw it at him, he's dead. So, he did cancel it, but during that, he is really, really one. Also, you've had your Hog ult for a little while here. I would be looking for an opportunity to use it. Probably would have just soloed the Goons. Right here would have been fine, but if not, then you do someone else. If there would have been time for a hook. But when the Doomfist goes back behind your whole team there, there's no real reason to ignore him here. He just punches away, and you're just like, oh, where'd he go? And you just ignore him. He's 1 HP. He's still next to you guys. Like, you can kill him there. So what I want to be thinking about with your Hoggle is what things do they have that can stop you from doing it. So the main obstacle here is their Ana's sleep dart. So if you hear her use that, I would just pick somebody in their team and then just solo ult them into a wall and kill them. Because you don't need to be getting team kills with your ult to win here. You just need to kill one person. If you want to use it anyways, because you're in overtime, because you do want to use it anyways, you're looking for an opportunity to use it when the Ana still has her sleep dart up. Just make sure that the Ana's not anywhere nearby, get in a room with somebody alone, take a 1v1, and then just... I probably would have used it on this Doom there to kill him. So here, the Ana is over alone there, and you have your hook, so I would probably be hooking her up here on the high ground. She's scoped down her sight. For some reason, she forgets that you're there, even though she just slept you, so that's a free hook right there. She's standing still. I probably would go for the Ana here. But... going for the Doom is fine too. You just want to make sure you take the time to aim your shots on your hook. Didn't get the go off. Okay. We're 1v1ing the Bob. Jesus. Okay, let's see what the... That's pretty good. Here I'd just be LOSing. You don't want to be... So right here, that was a really good kill on the BAP. Some good damage on the Doomfist. So they do have the Ashe behind you shooting you. Now they have the Widow up top, so you want to make sure you're trying to LOS as many things as possible here. So you do kill the Doomfist, which is good. But now right here, you're 1 HP. There's a Widow here. If she shoots you off the cart, your team just loses. And there's also... someone behind you, so I would just probably be AD spamming. I wouldn't be shooting at her. I would just be going to try and make sure I'm dodging as many things as possible. So I probably would have been right in front of the cart here. That way this Ashe that's behind you can't see you and potentially hit you. So that's eliminating one way that you can die. And then I would be AD crouch spamming, trying to make sure that the Widow couldn't hit you. Because unless she drops to the cart to contest it, you capture it and your team is good. But if you get shot by either of those two DPS, your team loses right here. So I probably would have been focusing on staying alive there as opposed to shooting. So the Ashe is still behind you guys. I probably would be chasing her because we're all kind of ignoring her. Okay, she's been pinged and called out now, I assume. We're still kind of ignoring her. Okay, at least you're going for it. What I would have done as Reaper here is when your team calls this out, and you all start going for her, you don't just walk at her. Like, when you're pushing snipers as Reaper, you teleport them usually. So, right here, your teleport's about to come off cooldown, she's been pinged, bam, your teleport's off cooldown. I would teleport right to this window right now. Like, your whole team's here. Even if she headshots you, you're gonna have your Wraith, it's up. So I would teleport directly at her instead of walking around, because she has the tools to keep you at a distance while you're doing this walk. She doesn't, apparently, care about that. Okay, well, you got her, so that works. I probably would have used that a little earlier, it's fine. But now you can just teleport back to your team, and there's not a big deal here. So right here I'd be teleporting probably to your team, but if not, it's fine. So now that you didn't use it, you see they're on the high ground again. High ground at this point is another one that's really, really important. So, especially as Reaper, you can't just stay on the low ground and like tickle people for 5 damage from the low ground. So what I'd be doing is I'd be teleporting up here, because you don't want to teleport directly into 3 people all standing there and just get slept by the Ana, headshot by the Widow. That'd be tragic. So instead, I would stand right where your Baptiste is right now, and then I would teleport to right here. Then your options are, you can go around this way, which works, it's fine. You can come up right here, maybe kill the Ana or the Baptiste, maybe the Widow. And then if you get in trouble, you can just Wraith mode, drop, and then you're fine. Alternatively, if you go up here, you can walk on this ledge right here. So I just drop, you can walk right here, and you can walk to right here, and all you gotta do to get around this is just take a little jump and hop around the corner, and then you can just attack them from right here. So say that there's a Widowmaker and she's sitting right here, and she's ADSing and she's just not moving. You just jump around the corner and you can practically just one-shot her to the head. So I would have walked around this ledge here, or gone around behind and gone for a pick up here, but regardless, you need to be on the high ground making sure you're contesting these 3 people who are just sitting there dumping damage on your team and nobody's contesting them. So like your main job as Reaper is to get up in their face and do that, and you're actually, contrary to what a lot of people in lower rank might think, you're really good at contesting high ground because of your teleport and because you can usually just escape for free with your Wraith mode. So that's where I would be going as Reaper right now. Or at the very least, because like your team's still regrouping, your Bastion's still coming back from spawn. But so teleporting in the open there, very dangerous. So when you're teleporting, it's pretty far. Like you can literally reach from where you're currently standing all the way up to there. You should be able to reach. If you can't, that ledge that you can walk on, you can teleport to that too. Any place you can walk, you can teleport to. So you can teleport to this ledge up here as well. But teleporting in the open is very, very dangerous, especially when they have snipers. They will murder you very dead. So I would advise against doing it. If it is happening, you can just cancel it and use your Wraith. But I see you were trying to, but it does, your teleport does go under where your crosshair is. So if you're trying to get up here with it, and you're aiming around this area, it's not going to go there. It's going to go only below that. So you have to aim above it if you want to go up there. Okay, so your team should be regrouping here. You're down both DPS. Probably should not be walking it. That was a good kill on the Widow though. Let's actually see it here. Or did it already happen? It did already happen. Okay, so this is good position. You really killed pretty much. Should be good. Might have wanted to invuln your Bastion there. Corner peeking this is good. You didn't really corner peek, you just kind of stood in the open, but the AD was good. But usually you want to peek around a corner between shots there. They're still really good. It's good to challenge Widows. As Kiriko, you have a tiny ass head, and you do a lot of headshot damage, which is practically stationary, so it's pretty good. That would have been... Okay, right here, you want to be climbing up to the high ground as Kiriko, so same exact thing that I was saying with the Reaper. You climb right here, you go and you just land right here, and you can a lot of time just get free headshots on people. They're not expecting for people to appear right next to them. So they're just standing on the high ground attacking all you guys. Your dude's anti anyways. You don't have your invuln. So during that time, I would have been, instead of healing a purple target, I would have climbed up there and harassed them. That was a good use of your, that was a really good use of your invuln there, but it would have been better if you were up on the high ground. You still could have hit that, and it also wouldn't have been as dangerous because you would have probably harassed them and they would have discovered. So when Doomfist is aiming at you as Baptiste, what you want to do is immediately crouch, and then you'll be charging your jump. So when you see a Doomfist come around a corner, like right here, you crouch right here, and then you just jump straight up, and her punch will go right under you. If not, then what you want to do is you want to throw your invuln, your immortality field. You want to throw that at the ground. and then charge your jump during that if he hits you. So you did die with your immortality field up there. So when you come around the corner and Doomfist is right here, he's charging, you try to get off your jump. If you can't get it in time because he does a half charge punch or something, after you come out, you look straight down, you throw your immortality field, and then you charge your jump again. You use your self heal, you jump straight up, you get up here, and then maybe you can just walk over and escape. If you had used your mortality field there, you might have lived. You might have also died because they still have their ashes here, and their Baptiste is here, and their Anna's here. So you very likely would have died, but you might have lived if you'd used that. And it's good to get in the habit of using your mortality field.
30 seconds.
Okay, so you guys are up 2 here.
You are completely healed.
So that hash is still on the right. I probably would have pushed her out first, or at least make sure that somebody's going over there to deal with it. It's a decent attempt to the hook, even though it didn't hit. It's really hard for Hog to do anything about the high ground, like I was saying before. So I would not be riding the cart here, really. You have 6 seconds. Like, what I would be doing is I'd be looking for an opportunity to use your ultimate. So I'd probably have somebody else on the cart, and what I would do as Hog is I would, so you have 16 seconds left. You missed this hook up here, whatever. So I would probably go down here, and I would play in this little pocket here. And then when somebody or anybody pushes the corner, you either hook them and kill them, or use your ult on them. So this Ana's alone. They still have 2 people coming back from spawn. Their Ashes over there all alone. This guy's up here all alone. So everybody's alone. So your team should be picking one of these targets and killing them. But you specifically as Hog should be probably pushing up, trying to hold some space. And if they try to push, then you ult them backwards. So I'd probably have most of your team should probably be going to kill this Ashe because she's totally out of position, completely alone behind you guys. So she was shooting at you guys as you came out of spawn here. So like you guys were all walking up here, and the Ashe was shooting at you. And you just kind of ignored her. So I would probably be most of your team. So your Widow, your Kiriko, your Bastion should probably be killing her. After she's dead, you guys all walk to the cart. Then your Baptiste and your Kiriko should be harassing this guy, getting him off here, getting him off the high ground. Widowmaker as well is very good at dealing with people on the high ground, so I probably would hook up here. And then I would put my little mine on the corner here, like right there, and then I would try to aim behind it. The mine can take a shot. So say you're fighting another Widowmaker, you're not right now, or an Ashe, but you can have your mine take a bullet for you, but just one. Also, if somebody dives you up there, the mine's there to help you machine gun them down. But that's a decent spot. Where you're at right now would be fine were there not an Ashe aiming at the side of your head. But the Ashe has been shooting at you guys, so what the okay. Anyways, so this is a decent angle to peek as Widowmaker, if there was no Ashe there. But I did hear the Ashe shooting, so I figured you guys should as well. But usually what I would like to do as Widowmaker instead is I like to take this flank here, so the same place I told you to go as Reaper. I would just walk right up here. I would hook up to this, and then I like walking over here. I put my mine down here, I break these, and then I aim right here, because most of the time you're going to find their backline is standing right where this Ana is currently standing. All the time. There's people that like to stand right there and just aim down their sights or hide right behind this corner. And it's very easy to kill them while they're a lot of the time. Also, you'll find a lot of people stand right here to aim at the cart and down this little way, and you'll be directly to their side. They won't really see you usually until you make 1 to 2 shots, and even after that, a lot of the time you can keep shooting. But you make 1 or 2 shots, people start looking at you, you back up, you go away, you do whatever, you do your thing, and then maybe you come back. But it helps take a lot of the pressure off your team. Even if you miss every single shot, people are going to respect the Widowmaker that's over here shooting at them, and they're going to pay attention to you. And if they don't, that's free shots and free chances for you to get 1-shots. But they probably will pay attention to you, and when they do, that takes a lot of attention off of your front line, so the rest of your team can walk up a lot easier when they're backing up to deal with the Widowmaker. All you got to do is make sure that you stay alive. So I would take a couple shots here. If they ignore you, good, keep shooting. If not, back up a little bit, reset, take a different angle. but that's probably what I would be doing as a Widowmaker right here, or what I would try to do, because this is a really, really good point for Widowmaker. As Bastion, it's kind of hard here. With 16 seconds left, you don't really have time to do what I would usually do, which is walk up these stairs over here, and then I would come around and I would do effectively what I said as Reaper earlier. I would go this way, and I would come up on this high ground. Alternatively, you can just do what your Widow is doing, just slightly less effectively, and maybe help her if people dive her. But I think it'd be better for you to just take this high ground over here as Bastion. But since you only have 16 seconds left, I would probably just play on or near the cart. So instead, I'd probably go over here. I'd be shooting at this Baptiste, get him to back off, and I'd probably go this direction, try to get some angles on people. So if people are pushing the cart, try and make it so like your cart's going to push up right here, and then the front of it's probably going to be around here somewhere, and you want to be set up as Bastion like right here so they can't use the cart as cover, and you can get them off both this corner as well as the cart there, and also you have this health pack. So that's probably what I would do as Bastion, but it's a tough position to be in with Bastion because he's just not really the most suited to this particular situation. Same with Roadhog, kind of the same thing. I already said what I would do. I would go up and try and take some space, but the ideal tank here is harder. So since you're down, your Widowmaker, you're still up 1 here because you did kill 2. So now that your Widowmaker has died, he should be making the call out that the Ashe just killed him. You guys probably should have noticed before, but since you didn't, now that she's killed one of you, you definitely should notice. So your team should definitely be turning and killing this Ashe in the next 10 seconds prior to the card unlocking, and then you'll still be up 2.
10 seconds.
So your Kiriko's going after it. This is really good. This is exactly what Kiriko should be doing. She should be going up here and going for some headshots. Good use of your invuln. Right here, I'd probably teleport away after that point. You did a good job forcing her off the high ground, but obviously you missed some shots. But I would probably just let your team know, hey, there's no reason to take a 1v1 here when your whole team's right there. So I would have one more person come help you. I would teleport back to them real quick and then just come back. Because your cooldowns are pretty quick. Taking the fight here is fine too. You still have a pretty good chance of winning it. You almost did. Teleporting is fine there. Looks like the team's probably losing this since you're already down 2. Yeah, it looks like it's it.
Complete.
Meteors!
Score 0.
Okay, so we have Mercy, Junkrat, and Hanzo instead of the previous team comp. So it is a lot easier to play this map on defense for obvious reasons. Especially Junkrat is really, really good on this first point. He kinda not great for the second point, but he's okay. But this choke right here that you're standing in is insane for Junkrat. So like if you can just get the cart stuck in this point, like in this little archway, and then you just fire Junkrat pills through it, like their entire team just explodes and you don't even have to aim. So Junkrat is insane on this first point. Hanzo's pretty good as well. He's pretty good at commanding the high ground. It works pretty well for him. Roadhog's pretty good on defense. He's kind of struggles on attack, but defense is a lot easier for him.
5, 4.
And then Mercy is always good on these because getting a good res can be very impactful on defense.
Stop the payload.
Because there's a long walk back from spawn. So that's a decent to go for 1 hook there. I probably wouldn't go for more than 1 because a good Ana will just sleep you right there, and then if she just leaves you slept there, their whole team walks up to you, she antis you, and then you're dead. So Ana is Roadhog's hard counter. You got to be really careful about going for risky hooks like that out of position, because if she sleeps you and antis you, your whole team is dead. Or not your whole team. You are very dead, and then your whole team will follow shortly after.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
So as Junkrat here, this is not the best spot to shoot shoot from. Usually what most Junkrats do is they'll be right here, and you can arc it so you have this as cover. Nobody's going to be shooting you from here. You can arc it over this roof here, and it'll land right on this door. So you can get the angle right from right behind this little wall here, and it's a lot safer, and you can just figure out the angle. If you want to, when your team is setting up, you can have one person walk up here, you can start shooting, and you can say, hey, is that landing at the door? And like just have somebody, like your Kiriko or somebody who can teleport back to you. You don't have a Kiriko, your Mercy, can fly back to you or something and let you know, like, hey, yeah, that's hitting. Or your Hanzo, he's taking an angle, say he's over here on this high ground and he can see the front door, and you're like, hey, is that hitting the front door? And he'll let you know. This is not the best spot to be standing. It's not terrible, it's fine. If you are here though, you do want to make sure you're AD spamming just because you are in the open. And especially since they have a Widowmaker, you don't know that, but they do have a Widowmaker. It makes it really hard for Widowmaker to kill you because you're on an incline. So usually what Widowmaker does is she'll put her crosshair at head level, and then you're AD spamming back and forth, and she tries to click right when you go under it, right? Well, if she puts it at head level, your head level is changing because you're on an incline here. So if you're AD spamming just a little bit back and forth, it makes it really, really hard for it to headshot you. I obviously did not see you die, but I'm assuming that you weren't really moving. Okay, so you're standing still there. It's really dangerous to do that. As a general rule, you want to be moving just a little bit. That was a good kill out of your Hanzo there to even it up. But you do want to be careful about standing still as Junkrat, but especially when they have a Widowmaker. But in general, standing alone in the open, not moving, is very, very dangerous. But you do have a Mercy here. So theoretically, she could res you here. So if you're Mercy here, what you want to be doing is you can either do the super jump off your Roadhog and fly up there, or you can fly to your Hanzo if he peeks you. But since he's not peeking you, what you want to do right now is, I don't know if you know how to do the super jump, but so you look at somebody, you fly to them, and the way you used to do it is you would fly and crouch at the same time, and then you would release both and hold space, and then you would fly up. But I think they removed that, and I think now you literally just, like, oh, what the fuck? Let me check. What am I at? I'm at 953. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so if you are Mercy, practice range. Alright, so if you're Mercy and you're trying to do a super jump, I think they changed it to just holding space or something, or it might be just crouch. I don't even know, but we're gonna find out together after this update applies, whatever that means. But anyways, super jump is really, really important to know how to do as Mercy. They made it a lot easier and a lot stronger of an ability because it doesn't take any of the skill that it used to take, so you can kind of just spam the shit out of it. And they also changed the rules of how it works, so you can use it in a lot more situations. Because it used to be a glitch, they put it in. It's now a real mechanic. But it's very, very helpful. Say you're getting Dove as Mercy, and like say there's a Tracer on you, or a Genji on you, or a Winston on you, you can do that, and it sends you straight up into the air. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this thing right now. We're having issues. Okay. It actually loaded that time for realsies.
Don't worry,
Okay.
I'll be right behind you. Affirmative.
Okay, so super jump
I'm Dinah Zeiser.
is not that. Alright, there you go. So the way they changed it is now it's just crouch. So all you have to do is you're shifting and you hold crouch, and it'll just immediately do it. So you shift, and whenever you want to go up, you crouch.
I'm
Shift,
here to support.
and then when you're moving, so you're holding shift, you hold crouch and let go of shift, and you'll fly straight up. So in that situation where you're trying to get to your Reaper that's on high ground, or not Reaper, your Junkrat that's on high ground, so you're going to go, and you're going to fly to your Roadhog who is in front of you, and then you're going to bounce off of him, off of his back, and then you're going to fly up
Traveling
and go over there
ready
and res
for
him.
battle.
So,
Ready for battle.
gotta be really cool if it would let me move this here. Okay.
Ready for battle.
Okay, so right here, your Junkrat is dead. You fly to your Roadhog here, you bounce up, and then you would be in the air, and then you would be able to see his soul, which is floating here. I didn't think Junkrat had one of those, or Junkrat players had one of those, but here it is. So, you bounce off the Roadhog here, you see the Junkrat soul, you fly over, you hide behind this wall, you res it, and then your team is back in this fight. That would be the ideal situation here. Okay, so that Doomfist is trying to eat your ass, slope that shit up. So Junkrat did die there.
Strength.
Sure you probably heard that. You can also just fly to your Baptiste, who's apparently up here. So once your Baptiste, you just fell out of this window here. The Baptiste is still there. Look back up, fly to him, res the Junkrat. That also works. But knowing how to do a super jump is pretty important. It adds a lot to your abilities and your survivability as Mercy. It's a good kill. There's another Hanzo there. Doing a really good job being on the high ground here. Doing a good job healing for your Mercy there. Nice shots. So I don't know why you ignored him there. Maybe because you heard the Widow. But usually when you're shooting at people as Hanzo, or any sniper for that matter, you want to wait for the jump. So, what the hell just happened? Okay. So, when you are shooting at people, you want to wait for the jump and go for them at that time. You can a lot of times predict the algorithm. Also, when you do use your storm arrow here, so that's your E, this little guy on the bottom right, you want to make sure that you're aiming each individual arrow as opposed to just shooting all of them at once. So like you're already shooting, you've already shot one at nothing. So I'd make sure that you are aiming each one nice and slow. You do not need to machine gun fire it. You hit one arrow there. So I would make sure you're taking your time to shoot them and actually aim them. Like you don't, like shooting them faster isn't really that helpful. The only time I would shoot it that quickly is probably if you're fighting a tank or something and you're not going to miss. And even then I would probably slow down a little bit and go for headshots on the tank. But speed comes later. If you don't think you can hit them all fairly accurately, or like have a chance of hitting them all fairly accurately, you just want to slow it down and try to make sure that you're taking your time with your shots. Because if you'd hit one more there, he's dead right here. Like if you'd hit one more of those storm arrows, he actually dies to that shot. Alternatively, what I like to do instead is I like to fire my first arrow, like I pull back one, let it go, and then immediately press E and shoot storm arrows after. So if that first arrow hits, he's weak, and then you hit two more storm arrows, he's dead. So you want to try and make sure that you're taking advantage of animation cancels like that, because it's more burst, but also it's just easier to secure kills that way. So right there where he jumps, that you should be aiming at him. Like you had him weak, he's the important target here, he's the support. So you should still be aiming at this guy that's in the open, not the guy that's peeking in and out of the doorway here. So I would not have swapped targets to the Ash here. I'd still be shooting at the Baptiste, even though he's healed up full. He's used his self-heal. There's not a lot more of that coming out. Turning to fight the Widow there would have been fine. I would not have gotten off the high ground. I probably would have just gone for the headshot on the Widowmaker. But that's fine. Okay, you got a kill on the Doomfist. You got a kill on the auto. Nice. Actually, check this out a little bit. So right there, I probably would have actually just walked inside. So you got her pretty weak. I just walk in here and harass her instead of being out here with their whole team. If you can do that, I'd probably walk inside there. Getting group in your team, I definitely walk backwards here and above me on the spine. This is a little dangerous here. You're already under half HP. Widow headshots you once, you're dead. On a sleeps you or nades you, you're probably dead. This is just, it's kind of dangerous. You do get out of it, but you probably should not have. I'd be backing up here. You don't have a heal. You're under half. So when you have your hook, you want to make sure you're waiting for a nice clear sight line before you throw it. And also don't throw it when you're jumping, almost ever. You throw it right after you land if you're going to jump around a corner. But even if you did hit a hook, they wouldn't have been pulled through this little gap here. So you want to make sure that you have room to actually pull people in when you're hooking them. Your sense looks a little high. I might think about lowering it, but I don't know. You just look a little like, I don't know, drunk. So I would try to keep it steady, especially when you're throwing hooks. You want to like put the hook in like one spot, or your crosshair in one spot, like on a corner, and then like wait until somebody's about to strafe into it and throw the hook. You don't want to be doing like flicks for hooks very often. You can, but not usually. That was a really nice hook on the Widow. That's exactly how it should look when you're hooking people. That was pretty good. Obviously it broke because she was backing up just a little bit, but that wasn't on you. That was a really good hook. Nice attempt. Good job zoning her there. She did land a shot on you right before you did it. So you are a little weak now. So yeah, so right here, you are kind of in danger. You're under 300 HP. When they have a Widowmaker, you gotta be really aware of when you're under 300 HP, because Widowmaker does 300 HP on a headshot. So if she headshots you here, you are dead, because you don't have your heal, I believe, right? Oh, you do have it. So if you hit it right here, you might live. If she hits the headshot, though, before you do it, you're dead. So I probably would back up just a little bit here, play this corner, try to LOS her, and make sure you're only peeking the Widow when you're ready to peek the Widow. Because peeking Widow as a tank, you have a giant fat head hitbox, so it's pretty easy for her to farm headshots off of you. So I would probably just make sure you're playing the left side of this over here. You don't usually want to play the right side because it just opens you up to a lot more damage. So you play the left side, you harass them, and then if you want to go for a hook, then you play the right side for a second, go for a hook, and then go back. Alternatively, you can go up to the high ground and do that. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, well, she did hit you in the head before you healed. She is actually popping off, killing the whole team. Okay, so right here she has walls, so that's pretty dangerous for the rest of you guys. So as Junkrat, I probably would have been playing a good bit further back. I wasn't watching you up before this point, so let's actually go back a little. I don't want to say something that's totally unfounded. So you're coming back from spawn here from that time you died. Those are nice shots. You're probably a little close here. Back up just a little bit more. But it's not a problem. I would... Yeah, okay, you're up a little far here. But you don't need to be this close to be throwing the mines, and I would probably even do it from up here a lot of the time. So I'd be up here, you can shoot around corners. You can also come out here, and when the Widowmaker is aiming over here, she's going to be aimed down her sights right here. She's not going to be looking over here because her field of view is smaller. Once she's aimed down sights, she'll probably only be able to see about this much. So she won't be able to see you at all if you peek right here. So I would go up here, and I would take your time, aim at the Widowmaker, go up a little bit, and then I would shoot one pill and throw your left shift, so your little pancake here. And then that will one-shot somebody if you hit both. So I would try to go for a one-shot on the Widowmaker. But okay, this is a much better spot to play from. So right here is Junkrat. This doorway, fantastic. You can bounce shit off the wall here, around a corner, and there's also cover, and there's also a health pack, even though it's tiny. But it's really good to play from right here as well. If you don't want to be on the high ground and you want to deny them this choke instead, that's pretty good. So this is a really good spot to play as Junkrat if you stayed right there. You don't usually want to get super aggressive in a choke as Junkrat, because you want them to walk into the choke and then explode to your mines and die horribly. You don't want to be the one in the choke, because then they don't really challenge you as much. This is not a terrible corner, but you want to be careful about walking up here. did kill someone in tragic, in classic Junkrat fashion. You want to be really careful about jumping in front of the Widowmaker here. So as I said earlier, when you're a sniper, you're waiting for the jump, and then at the peak of the jump is when you go for the headshot. So right here, you're doing a little bunny hop, like you can jump, and you're jump, 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 jump. Like you're begging to get a headshot right here. So jump a lot less. When there's a Widowmaker, you want to be crouching, ADing. You don't want to be jumping. Jumping is how you die to snipers. And peeking the Widowmaker here to try and go for a kill, not the greatest idea when you're on low ground and this far away. So if you're going to be doing that, as I said, if you want to go for the Widowmaker, you want to come up here and you want to shoot her from the side. You don't usually want to peek her face to face. Also, your trap, I would make, like, it's fine to put it here where it is, but you want to think about where the cart's going to be. So when they get to this choke, the cart is going to drive right over your trap. Nobody's getting trapped in that. It's under the cart. So if you're going to be putting it in this little choke here, you want it either on this side or on this side, because the cart is going to go right over it. Or alternatively, when they're running a Doomfist or something like that, a Doomfist, a Tracer, a Genji, anything like that, it's a lot of the time a much better idea to put your trap in your backline, near your supports. I think the ideal place for your trap would probably be like right here on this corner or in this doorway. And then if anybody tries to push your Mercy or your BAP, they just run into your trap and then you kill them. Or just put it like somewhere back here or some random spot on a corner, and then you might catch the Doomfist and just get a free kill. But if you are going to put it in the choke, you want it to the side so the cart does not roll over it. So I don't really know what we're trying to bounce here. So you're bouncing off here, going here. There's no one here. You want to try and get it, like obviously a lot of times Junkrat you are guessing where people are, but it's usually a fairly safe bet that there's people on this street or sometimes coming up these stairs. Behind this is like, unless there's somebody there, I probably wouldn't just be going for that. It would be good to challenge this guy over here as well, but yeah, so as Junkrat here, I probably would have been trying to bounce it just off the cart here and roll down this way or something like that. Or if you are going to play on the right side, you bounce it off this wall here and then you get it to land right down in here, something like that. But it'd be easier and you have a lot more angles to shoot from if you're up on high ground here. So I would usually recommend being on high ground as Junkrat in this map until the cart gets to here. Once the cart is here and they're pushing it into this choke, then you play where I was saying earlier, you play right here, you play right here, and you can easily spam the choke from there. But before they're at the choke, you usually want to be on high ground. We could definitely res that, by the way, that Junkrat death. Definitely resable right now. So he used his, Doomfist has used two of his abilities, used his slam and his punch. He doesn't have either right now. You do have a Baptiste right here, so I think your Mercy goes for this res right here. And then if anything happens to her where she might be in trouble, you're pocketing her and you have an invuln for her. So I think your Mercy should probably be resing here. If not the Junkrat, then definitely the Hog. You could definitely do either of them, especially if you used your ultimate. So right here I'd probably use Mercy ultimate, and then I would probably res the Hog. But you could res the Junkrat as well. But Hog is, you know, he's the tank. He's a little more staying power on cart. But I could see an argument for resing either of them. And if you have your ultimate as Mercy, you don't even need the BAP to look after you. Like, all you gotta do is you go over here, and you float right here, and you just res from right here. Like, they can't see you, they can't stop you. So this would be a really good time for a Mercy res and ultimate. Mercy's ultimate is really, really good at making opportunities to get a res where you otherwise wouldn't be able to. So like, say your Baptiste was dead as fuck here and couldn't help you with these reses, you could still get either of them pretty easily with your ultimate. So right here would be a really good time for a Mercy res. It's good pushing him here. You do hear that they have walls now, so it's a little dangerous. Your team is all dead. Cool, cool. So Okay, so you want to be regrouping. You can probably touch before that's here. So here, same thing that I said earlier, peeking the Widowmaker. If you want to kill her, I understand. You probably don't want to peek her here though. So I would go around through there, up this way direction, and then peek her here. And then you shoot her in the side, and it makes it a lot easier to hit her because she's probably ADing this way, AD, trying to dodge people. But if you're standing over there, that's a straight line. You know, AD this way, she's not moving as far as you're concerned. So it makes it a lot easier for you to hit her, and it also makes it so she has to pick one. She has to look at your team or she has to look at you. She can't do both. So it makes it a lot easier for your team to kill her if you crossfire her. Peeking her up here is very dangerous. So it's good that you're hiding here, but I probably wouldn't peek her, but you can if you're going to peek a Widowmaker or you have to peek a Widowmaker and you're peeking the direction that she's looking. What you should do is you should wait until you hear a shot. That's how you know she's aiming at somebody else. And like say there's nobody on your corner up here, she's not shooting here, you hear a shot, that means she's looking down here. So that means that you can peek somewhat safely, because even if she is looking directly at you, she just shot, she needs to charge up another shot before she can one-shot you. So if you have to wait right here, wait for a shot, and then immediately peek and shoot and throw a pancake at her or something. That's probably the best way to peek a Widowmaker if you want to peek her when she's looking directly in your direction. But as I said earlier, it'd probably be better to flank and shoot her from the side. Your team should be getting on the high ground here if at all possible. Not your Hog probably, because he's a Hog, but your Junkrat definitely should be up there, and he is. Your Hanzo definitely, your Baptiste 1000% should be up there. This is too high for Baptiste to make the jump right here. However, if you go right here up this little hill, now you can make the jump. So I would take that and I would get up there as Baptiste, and then Hanzo as well, and then Mercy should be up there as well. The only person who should be down here is maybe your Hog, and you should definitely only be down there if your supports can see you. And be careful about walking a straight line. Just as Hanzo, I definitely, first thing I would do if I'm having a sniper battle, especially with two snipers at once, I wouldn't be shooting directly at them. I would take my first shot, and it would go directly under them, like on the wall here, with a sonic arrow. So I would hit it like right here, anywhere around here, with the sonic arrow. And then it makes it a lot easier for both you and your team both not to die to them because you know exactly where they are, as well as to land shots on them. So my first shot when I come out of spawn here would be my sonic arrow. So as Junkrat here, I don't know why you got off the high ground, but maybe it was to use the bat bolt. That might have been because he was calling it. But it'd be really good if you were still in the same spot you were earlier. You look straight down on him here. It's really easy to hit people usually when they're behind a window like this because they don't like to move. They like to stand still and take their shots through the window. So it's pretty easy for you as Junkrat to sit here and aim at them down there and then just fire some pills and throw some pancakes. And at the very least, you're going to disrupt them or make it a lot harder for them to use that ultimate because you're spamming it out as Junkrat. All you got to do is throw one pancake at them, and the boop alone will make it so much harder to use this. So if you were still up here, you could basically deny this entire ultimate just by throwing a pancake at them. So I think while it is good that you're trying to use your Baptiste ultimate, first of all, as I said earlier, Baptiste should be on the high ground using this, but also it would be a lot more impactful probably for you to deny both deny their Baptiste ultimate as well as have a chance to kill their Baptiste as Junkrat here if you're on high ground. But that was a good kill you got on the Ashe there, so it's a good job using it. But now that the ultimate's gone, you no longer have any reason to be down here. I would be back on the high ground because you're just really, really far away. You don't get a lot of spam down this corridor, especially because the cart's going to stop right here before you really even get going. So I would definitely be up on the high ground. Your team's kind of just giving them all this space for free when you don't have a lot of time or space left. So I'd be very cautious of that. Also, you got to be thinking, you have to hold this for 4 more minutes. You have your ultimate, and you got to be thinking about how you're going to stop them for this next fight. So I would say Junkrat ultimate is your best bet here. So I'd be going back up to the high ground, I would murder this guy in the face. Or if you were on high ground, you probably would have stopped him from getting up here in the first place. But I would be up here. I'd probably go this way direction. And then I would throw down my trap right here. And then I would ult. And then I would probably bring the ult around the back. Over here. Out this way direction. And then kill somebody over there. Or you can just drop it right off the top here. Because if they're pushing the cart like right below here, you just drop off right off the high ground and blow it up in the air and kill somebody. But I'd probably just go to the cart with it and just run at the Ana, kill her. But the point is, you want to use your ult and you want to kill 1 to 2 people and stop this fight before it even happens. Junkrat ult is quite good at doing that. So I think you should be going to the high ground right now and making sure that you can try and stop this fight. It would be excellent for the Mercy. Where the hell did it just go? It would be excellent for the Mercy right here to res the Baptiste that died a horrible, painful death there. So Baptiste just died under the bridge. Mercy's right here. She sees the Doomfish. She goes, oh no. So there's this orb right here. This is your Baptiste. That's a free res. You can pretty easily do that. If you hadn't hesitated, you could have done it from relative safety. You would behind the wall there. So right there would have been a great time for a super jump. So if Doomfist gets on you, Doomfist has a lot of trouble with verticality, especially hitting people that are in the air. That's why Pharah is kind of like a hard counter to him, as well as Echo, as a couple other things. But Mercy's really good at avoiding him a lot of the time, so you can fly up into the sky. When he does that, so he punches you into the wall, you fly to a Junkrat and fly straight up, and now he really can't hit you with any of his abilities. He can only hit you with his left click. So when your Hog ult's there, I probably would have damage boosted, but that's fine. You want to be damage boosted him there because he was, nice job, because he was using his ultimate and he was also purple. So here you want to be using your ultimate probably as Mercy, just to make sure you secure this fight, because you got 1 kill here, but it's feeling a little close, not gonna lie. So I think you should be using the Mercy ult probably right now. Using the tire is fine too. Okay, use that. I would definitely be damage boosting him. Good job. And swap back to damage boost, probably back and forth. Good job finding the Junkrat there and saving him. I would keep an eye on him because I just heard your Junkrat yell, which means he took a hit. That's good. Once the ult is over here, I would be landing on the high ground. So I wouldn't just slowly float down back to the cart. I probably would have landed right up there and then just healed them from up there. And it's probably safer. Okay, that's a good kill there. So here you want a speed boost. Oh. Okay, speed boost a little faster would have been good, but that was a good speed boost to get them out of there. Here you want a speed boost again. Okay, you weren't really wall riding there, I think was the main problem and why you died. Because if you're getting hit with Mei left click, it's kind of important that you're wall riding to like get away from her, and just instead of walking around in the middle of the open. There also wasn't really a whole lot going on there that you were really doing. You were kind of just sitting around your team speed boosting them, but you weren't going anywhere or doing anything. So if you're in that situation, what I would usually do is I'd try to find an enemy and harass them or try to kill them. In this case, probably they're Baptiste, maybe they're Ana, but their Ana's already dead. So usually I'd be getting a little more aggressive than you were being. So here's Baptiste. I would be jumping up onto the cart, and then I would crouch, and I would get up there. And then I would be pocketing your Hog from right here. And I would be giving him your ultimate, well not your ultimate, sorry, your invuln, your immortality field, and then just healing him up a lot. Probably would have used it down here, since you're what the hell's the BAP? Am I dumb as hell? I think I am dumb as hell. Yeah, that's the wrong BAP. Okay, you don't have a BAP before. Okay, cool. But anyways, that BAP should have been up there too. But if you had a BAP, you would be up there and healing it from up there, but you want both of your healers to be up there as a general rule. So how did you miss your die, actually? Oh, she got punched in her by the Doomfist. So another thing here, you could do the same thing you did earlier, or I was saying earlier. if you hear Doomfist called Meteor Strike, your immediate reaction should be Super Jump. So his ultimate really doesn't do that much damage. It can, especially if he's already damaged you a little bit since you're already half, and he can come out of it and then do some more abilities, but it doesn't do that much damage by itself, and especially doesn't do that much if you're in the air. So if you hear Meteor Strike, your first reaction should be to fly to somebody and super jump off of them and go straight up. So right here, you can fly to your Junkrat, immediately hit crouch, you would go up here, and then you'd probably take 20 damage from his ultimate, and also you'd be up here. And you could just land up here and heal from here. And you probably would have lived. So almost always, when you hear Meteor Strike, get in the air is Mercy. That is your number one first reaction is Mercy. And then Lucio's first reaction is to go to speed. So this Mei is trying to block your hook that you're not throwing. She's trying to mind game you, but it's not working out. So like right here, you'll see every time you look at the Mei, she's trying to block it. It's like right here, the Mei's like, oh, a hog, and she walls because she thinks you're gonna hook. And then she comes around this corner, and she goes boom, and she tries to block the hook. So you should be throwing a hook here. She's right. Like that's the normal reaction for a Roadhog is to throw the hook here. Obviously, against a Mei, you want to wait to bait this stuff out. If this is intentional and you are baiting this out intentionally, good job. But I don't think you are because immediately after she comes out here, you don't hook her. So now that she's used both abilities, and you still have your hook, you now have the advantage in this fight. So once she comes out of this, you should immediately be going for the hook. So you should not be turning here. You should be standing and staring at this person. Put your nose inside of her. Sniff her armpits a little bit. So once she comes out of this, your immediate reaction should be to hook her. So now that you've turned, if I was this Mei, I would immediately pop out and start freezing you. Now that you're not looking at me and I know that I can get out of this ice block without the danger of being hooked. But you should be staring at her. So she pops out and she's freezing you. So if you were just staring at her, you get a free hook on her, basically. So she comes out, you would hook her, you would melee her in the face, she'd be 1 HP, maybe hit her one more time, she's dead. You probably kill this Mei if you do that. But you looked away there, so now she gets to freeze you and you get bullied and killed. You might have still died, you probably would have still died. But you would have almost certainly brought the Mei with you there if you had done that. Does look like nobody can touch here. Okay, GG. So main takeaways here for this match. High ground is important. So I would say make sure that you guys are using that, and not just using it, but using it as a team, especially on attack. You kind of just let them have the high ground quite a bit. So like you were playing a comp that is not great at getting to high ground unassisted, so you need stairs and all that sorts of shit. You need forethought and preparation and teamwork to make sure everyone's going around and doing that. So I would say swap Lucio, something like that, and then just speed your team around, go around the edge and get the enemy off high ground, and make sure that you leave 1 or 2 people up there and then drop. But you can't really just be standing on the low ground like his Hog and his Bastion and then just waiting for the enemy team to kill you and hoping that you beat the odds and triple headshot them off the high ground. So you want to make sure that you're being proactive about getting them off the high ground and making sure that your team has it. And you don't want to just go straight to the cart, push the cart, fight on the cart, die on the cart. You want to go around, you want to get the high ground, you want to win the fight, and then you want to go push the cart. You don't want to just fight wherever the cart happens to be. You want to fight in an advantageous position. So you want to make sure you go and find one and force one to happen. And the first step to doing that is getting high ground. So that's the main takeaway that I saw for all of you, is just make sure you're using the high ground and stopping the enemy from doing so. For your DPS specifically, more flanking, more high ground, more denying of high ground, and especially more, like there was a lot of enemies that were on the flank or straight up just behind you guys and were just being ignored. Make sure that you're taking the time to go back and kill them, especially if they're weak. Like, you don't need to be taking 1v1s. Usually you would go back there and take your Mercy or take a Lucio or a Kiriko or somebody, and you would both go back there and kill them. But there was a good bit of just ignoring that. So like if you see somebody on the flank, usually you and Kiriko or you and Lucio or somebody will go and fight them 2v1, kill them, and then come back to your team because you're fast. So there should be a good bit of that going on, but there really wasn't a whole lot. For the tank, you were playing Roadhog, so you're basically just a fat DPS, not as much of a tank. But I'd say the main thing here is just work on hook timing. You were kind of just throwing them whenever. I would say go ahead and work on making sure you have a good sight line for it. I did see you throw 1 or 2 hooks that were outside of maximum hook range, so I would definitely try and make sure you get a better handle on where exactly or how far the hook reaches. But for the most part, there were a couple really good hooks. You were pretty good at not overextending as Roadhog. There was only 1 or 2 times where you did that, and it was usually not a huge deal and you didn't get punished. But the Roadhog play was pretty good. You were good at staying alive. It's just you can do a little bit better about flanking and getting picks and stuff. So Roadhog doesn't have to just play on the cart. Like, I know you're the tank, you have to push the cart, that's like your thing. But Roadhog's utility is all about his pick potential. So he's not Reinhardt, he doesn't have a shield, he can't protect his team. He's not Sigma, he doesn't have a shield, he can't stun people. He's not Orisa, he doesn't stun people, he doesn't push people back unless he has his ult. He's not Monkey, he can't get the high ground, he doesn't have a shield, he can't zap people through shields. He like his entire kit is built around his hook and his ability to displace people and get picks from that. So a lot of the time you're going to play Roadhog a lot more like a DPS and a lot less like a tank. So you're going to go on flanks, you're going to annoy people in the backline. You might be on the cart sometimes, but most of the time you're going to be going on flanks and doing crazy weird shit. And you're not going to be playing like a traditional tank because you're more of a DPS. So there really wasn't a lot of flanking I saw out of the Roadhog, and not a lot of pushing up and taking space and denying people angles with your hook. There was more just like, I'm standing on the cart and I'm going to try and hit a hook from here, which can be a good play sometimes, but it's not always. Out of the supports, specifically Kiriko, I didn't see you really taking 1v1s, you weren't really taking the high ground, and you didn't really help people go secure kills when they were on the flanks. That was a big problem. That was the main issue there. Also, I really didn't see many impactful support ults. So you want to be thinking about, especially for Kiriko ult, you want to think about that as like a fight-winning ultimate where you can run in and try and get some damage dealt. I don't think I saw a single Kiriko ultimate that was really good. There was one that was okay. There was one I saw that went just directly into a wall, and those are the only 2 I can remember. There was one pretty good Mercy ult, and then I think there was one decent Baptiste ult. But like you want to be thinking about using these ults on high ground. You want to be thinking about using these ults so they get maximum distance if it's a Kiriko ultimate. And then for the DPS, you want to be thinking about using your ults preemptively before a fight starts to get a pick and stop the fight, so they have to go regroup again. Alright, well, I think that's just about everything I can think of for now. Nice job, guys. Bye-bye forever.